I was married to this bitch, had me even jump the moon. Now I gotta go through like a PT, barrel boy, bed, blood, jet, lunch, terror, better yet, I've been told to buy sauce and we ain't all for it. My flesh, all the Lord's all the check, the rest of it's mine. Lost in the south, son, we ain't with the energy. Much less the cough, sir. Prepare to start to put us in on the charge and it will be real with it. I ain't never gonna fall to. Job with the doctors, but privacy by the fact that your house shot. The only nigga worthy of the taxes while my neighbors were dead. And neighbors give a pity, but my outcome, go to jail, try to serve it. Now I'm in the city, cause the jail was sitting. The city really gives been a half century. 400 kids still a penitentiary for every regardless life. 80 bar for life. Oh, white t-shirt, blue jeans, and lights. Nowadays you got no skinny jeans to get right. Stop to picture of the pussy they poppin' and get lights. This is school that I'm saying it's a message in the class. I'm coming to beat the ass. Now you wanna run it like speed, not really fast. With the blast with that extra. I do what you ask for me. You can call it destiny, but really it's for me. You can get the rich man, turn down and turn up. And that was all about to burn up. I'm talking about two in the field, but only one is gonna turn up. All you wanted was a lot to the other ones. Talking 6 ways, Sunday, everybody's gonna leave up. In the midst of this corruption, all the instruction. I thought you all were very certain code. I know the blessing. You gotta try to function. You gotta know the election. That's the reason we search for data is the question. Reverse engineering, what you're hearing is the blueprint. That's why you get caught in emotion. I rebuke it, turning up the basis. When I produce solutions, wanting our child, now the strong man is losing. All out of gas, Jesus slaying the drag. It's a color, it's a hard burden for the ass. We got a classic connection. Odd bars from the past, and like an everlast punch it back, son. Just do the math. Go the words on the other side. Warriors got a class. From the upper class, turning sinners. Swindlers into triggers when it comes to this way. We are the fake, niggas stupid shit. Same time I ain't shit. Reverse psychology, illogical thinking risks. I'm making hits, I'm with BK, hit man. Living like a geek, staying poverty, a rich man. Mobbing through the rich man, balling like a rich man. Right up with and I'm over to bring the bonus. What's the you notice? It's all up to read your bonus. Push the focus, push the go and do the notice. Fire up, I'm breaking blood up. It's the locust, the power, the focus. Not a head of state, it's in the bed to stay fucking with Moses. The people that were chosen, our conversation, they go with people. So we go on here, we're going to be like, hoping that we posting no emotion, they be boasting. So we told for whatever they're proposing. I'm writing code, like victory, they be roasting, they be roasting. I've been roasting, it's across the paradise for me, but not my me. Golden hair is open and lost me like an ocean. I was overflowing, but it was just extending. Our brothers, they were coming, but we the real Jews, they the happy right Frenchmen. We the real niggas, they the happy right Frenchmen. We the real way back to now. You know that you are. And hold it next to me. You know that you are. Take a second, we reflecting with the light of just a light. I'm fucking living, wasn't traded to be white. Now that's not right. I got to write words to deal with me, the right words. No, I don't work up for I didn't face the know that we create them so they think they making over they forsake is so essential. Mental kitchen, issue, guess who's on this instrumental with you? It's a damn if we was family, you unread and call it spam. I'm not a fan of Antichrist, they slayed the man, I swayed the 10 like here I am, the son of Satan, taking shots at David pussy. A different discipline existed in this new state of my success. I don't have to act up the year reason for not one thing in mind to grind until this devil turned this person murder battle. You know that you are. 69, I follow protocol. This kingdom built on God thrones, so I can't love these all. And I'm gonna fuck with y'all. I ain't gotta say it twice. You vouching for the enemy, but look, my father ain't have a father, cause it don't come in top politics. Cause Christ died from a boat. The richest nation locked the homeless up for being cold. How ironic they relating, smoking weed to get them stoned. You trim your ways and seek they love. I'ma bring this sword back wet with a vest dipped in blood. Niggas giving up when they don't even give enough. Going nowhere fast, niggas always in a rush. I give them love cause my brother's lost. Christians eating, I stay brother starved. No way I can serve another God. I give my love cause my brother's lost. Christians eating, I stay brother starved. I can't serve another God. You know that you are. What it do? Cult leader. Yeah. We see the truth, but we a cult leader. Yeah. Listen, I'm a cult leader. Yeah. Listen, I'm a cult leader. Yeah. They say I'm in the cult, they say a nigga lost, but I done lost it all. Family and all, they didn't get involved. They just want a ball, sun on the stall, back against the wall. We gon' show them all. I don't wanna be here, land of the slaves. We are not afraid, we are not the same. I done seen that nigga listen in the side. My other man talking, don't look surprised. Them haters gon' cry, but them devils gon' cry. I don't wanna die, nigga, I just wanna ride. I don't wanna hide what I really feel inside. Them devils gonna pay for what they did to mine. Look me in my eyes. I want 7 wives. I want 7 kids. I want them to know that it was no road. That it was no joke. This is how it goes. I do it with no patience. I mean no hesitation. Come on, Lord, we waiting. Look at what they saying. I ain't let it be. I can't turn the key for what they did to you and what they did to me. They say I'm in the cult. I guess I'm in too deep. I guess it's really deeper than it really needs to be. Forever is one West. Forever we the best. You don't want to test. There's only one West. Cult leader. Yeah. We a cult leader. Yeah. Well, bitch, and I'm a cult leader. Yeah. Well, bitch, and I'm a cult leader. Yeah. Wages of sin, death to your cult leader. You ain't one West, so you don't know scripture. You ain't in the truth, so we don't know niggas. Look, I had to change my ways, I don't know sinning. Got the name changed, not to sound it. How was I ever in the world? I gotta ask myself.
All right. Shalom, Israel. It's Precinct Captain 10,000 Kwamo, coming from Southern California. Today is Tuesday's Brotherhood class. And we're going to go ahead and go over a few topics today, speaking on things that just need to be cleared up, as always, when it comes to the Bible. Specifically, one of the things that is a misconception, that is taught, which is very unbrotherly, is that you can go and get dunked in water and be baptized, and cleansed by the water. But there is a lack of understanding when you believe that to be true according to the Bible, and when you follow those practices, you show how unlearned you are regarding the Bible. As far as when you decide to water baptism, and practice those type of things, you are not following Christ, but you are following John. And to follow John is to not be in the truth. And to follow the ways of John is to find yourself on the opposite side of the Lord. And so in the ISUPK, we teach and we show the truth according to the Bible, that it's imperative to learn the essence behind what it is to truly be baptized according to the Bible. So I'm going to bring out quite a few scriptures to prove what I'm saying today. One of the first scriptures we're going to start off at is 1 Peter chapter 3, and we're going to start at verse 21. And 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 21 reads, it says, like the like figure whereunto even baptism doeth also now save us, not the putting away of the filth of the flesh, but the answer of the good conscience towards the Most High by the resurrection of our King Yahushua. What is this saying? This is saying that not only is it putting the flesh away and cleansing yourself with the flesh, but it's also your mind. You know what I mean? A lot of in old times, what do? We try to use loopholes. We figure that we'll do something, sin against the Lord, and then we'll sacrifice this animal, and then all is good. That's not how this works. Once you know this truth and understand it, and you break it, there's consequences for it. Because there was this excuse and this notion that we couldn't keep the law. We couldn't keep the truth. We couldn't do it. It was just too hard. And Christ came on this earth and showed us that it was possible. That's why it says that he came in the flesh. He likened himself to be born unto the flesh like his brethren. That's in Hebrews, from the seed. Salakia, give me 1 second here. Bear with me one moment. Apologize for that. Appreciate your patience once again. Just had to get everything secure. So once again, there's this fake notion of what the Bible says when it comes with what is taught. There's this fake notion and fake understanding of what's taught according to the Bible when it comes to baptism. And it's unbrotherly to teach people the wrong things. Like, you have to realize the kind of trouble you're going to be in when the Lord returns, that you swayed a lot of people for your own misguided understanding, instead of trusting the priests and prophets of the Lord that the Lord brought here to us. You know what I mean? Allowed the ISUPK to be risen again in the earth. And for that, you still turn from us. So there's a good judgment coming to you for teaching people and brothers and sisters the wrong way. That's why we must understand this Bible with clarity. So we're going to drop that. We're going to go into John chapter 6. I'm going to start at verse 55. Moment. You got it there, brother?
Sorry.
Go ahead and read.
John chapter 6, verse 55.
Read.
For my flesh is meat indeed, and my blood is drink indeed.
Go ahead.
He that eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood dwelleth in me.
He that eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood dwelleth in me. Now, is it this Roman Christian doctrine of, you get that little cup of good grape juice and that little cracker for communion, and that's eating the Most High in Christ, is what the Christian church will say? That's ridiculous. That's cannibalism if you didn't know. You're teaching people to eat humans.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just a substitute in your mind. You're teaching wrong things. That's not what that's saying. Read that again.
Verse 55. For my flesh is meat indeed, and my blood is drink indeed.
For my flesh and my blood are drink indeed. Go ahead.
Verse 56. He that eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood dwelleth in me.
He that do as I done in the flesh and talk and receive the understanding and speak the understanding that I speak. Read the last part.
Dwelleth in me.
Dwelleth in me. Meaning you take on the way that Christ lived and accepted that and moved like that and talked like that, then you dwelleth in him. Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
And I in him.
And I in him, meaning not only if you do that for Christ's sake, you are now also showing that he is with you as well. Go ahead.
Verse 57. As the living Father has sent me, and I live by the Father.
And as he's been sent by the living power, Yahweh in the Hebrew, he lives for the Father. He don't live for himself. He's here to do. He was sent to do what? His Father's work. And that's what you have to understand. Christ was sent here so that you could do Christ's work. And how does that work? It works by you implementing these laws, stopping the sinning, changing your train of thought, thinking before you make an action. A lot of mistakes are made on impulse. You know what I mean? He's saying walk how he walks, talk how he talks. Go ahead.
So he that eateth me, even shall live by me.
He that eateth me shall live by me. Once again, this is a metaphor. Go ahead.
Verse 58. This is the bread which came down from heaven.
This is the bread that came down from heaven. You know what I mean? And what do you do with bread? You eat it. You digest it. That's what it's telling you. Go ahead.
Not as your fathers did eat manna.
But not as your fathers did, meaning what? You were given the law in the Old Testament, but did we digest the truth? No, we made excuses. We said we couldn't do it. It was too hard.
Right.
It's not how this works. It's not too hard. The law says, it was that 1 John 5:3. You know what I mean? The law is not grievous. You know what I mean? It's not hard. You know what I mean? What the problem is you don't have any control over your spirit and your mind and your flesh. You don't realize the spirit and the flesh go to war with each other every single day. And you must battle that. And to truly battle that is to come into the ISUPK.
Right.
It's to come into the truth where you can learn how to be really cleansed. Not just dumped in some water, but truly cleansed and clean.
Right.
And how do we teach you how to be clean? We teach you how to love one another. We teach you how to eat properly. We teach you how to keep the high holy days that you are commanded. We teach you the instructions. This Bible is an instruction manual towards life. It's an instruction manual. It has everything you need. But you do what? You plagiarize it. You make excuses for it. You do what you want to do. You go off your own understanding. If Commander Junior Yohana is not teaching you this Bible in the earth right now until Christ returns, and the UPK and these soldiers, these officers, these captains, and these generals, they're not teaching you, then you are in big trouble, man.
Right.
Go ahead, continue reading.
Not as your fathers did eat manna, and are dead.
And are what?
And are dead.
For not following this law and understanding what was set for you, they are what?
Dead.
They died. And you know what a good watchman does? Tries to look out for his people. Because in ISUPK, we truly don't want our people to die. There's a lot of fake Israelites and Christians. They pray for the death of other people, especially Israelites. That's not in the Bible to pray against or wants another Israelite to die.
Right.
That's contrary to the Bible. Even when David himself was running from Saul and dealing with that drama as he was transitioning to become king of Israel, didn't pray for the death of Saul. Even though all the wicked things Saul was doing, you would think in the back of your mind he deserved it, but that's not the case. You know what I mean? We're not supposed to think like that. Go ahead, continue reading.
He that eateth of this bread shall live forever.
He that eateth of this bread shall live forever. Meaning what? What's this bread? This truth, this understanding. If you eat of this, what does it mean? To digest the words, to digest the spirit of what this is. Baptism is not and never will at this point, as Christ has come on the earth, dunking you into some goddamn water. Right. It's not going to happen. You dunk people in the water and they still come up drug addicts, homosexuals, adulterers. They don't change. But you know what does change? I'm telling you, brother, from now on, you know the law. You know that if you sleep with that man's wife, you're going to die. The Lord is going to judge you. Right. And then you turn from it. Then you have no excuse, but it's on you. Where are we at? What exact verse?
Verse 59, sir.
59. Let's go a little bit further, and then I'm going to go pull Hebrews 10 and 26. Go ahead.
Verse 59. These things said he in the synagogue, as he taught in Capernaum.
And why was he saying this in the synagogue? Because these are the things he was teaching to the doctors and the lawyers that were doing what? Sinning against the Bible. Going against Christ's mission. Go ahead.
Verse 60. Many therefore of his disciples, when they had heard this, said, this is an hard saying.
Stop right there. Disciples heard this like, dang, my Lord, this is a hard saying. This is very hard to understand. And that's the problem with the Christian church. The fake Israelites, they're Christians too. The Muslim mosques. It's hard to understand this Bible because it wasn't always given for everyone to, it wasn't given for everyone to understand. But if you would humble yourself, the Lord could allow you some grace and give you mercy to fall in the ranks under chosen men and women. But you decide to do what you want to do, and you decide to lead you decide to be a heretic and lead a false doctrine. We're going to go into that as well. Go ahead, you keep reading.
Who can hear it? When Jesus knew in himself that his disciples murmured at it, he said unto them, doth this offend you? What and if ye shall see the Son of Man ascend up where he was before? It is the Spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing.
Meaning what? Meaning this. You would believe in me if you saw me just ascend directly into the heavens. If you saw me get on a chariot and you still on earth, oh, you'll believe in me then. Right. But what does it profit it? It doesn't profit it anything. The Christ our King is saying, you got to understand the position I'm in. You have to learn this business. You have to implement this. I'm not just going to hand it to you. You know what I mean? Because it profited what? You were in 63? The flesh what?
It is the Spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profited nothing.
Go ahead.
The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit.
Go ahead.
And they are life.
The words I speak unto you are spirit, and they are life. Why is he saying that? Because you got to go through the trials and tribulations. To be baptized is to be tried through the fire. Meaning what? You got to go through some shit. You got to. You cannot. Now, you're not just going to get it handed to you. You have to take the kingdom. And how you're going to take the kingdom is by learning how to change. Because it profits Christ nothing. It profits the Most High nothing to give you everything you think you deserve.
Right.
You're gonna do what you do now. Give it to the heathens.
Right.
You're gonna give it all away. But if you learn to struggle a little bit, you learn to persevere, you learn to go through a little bit of pain, you learn to go through a little bit of strife. You learn this, you'll appreciate it that much more when you don't have to go through it.
Right.
And you'll understand why not to do it. That's the lesson behind this. But what are you teaching out there?